So I wonder if it should be on speaker or gallery view.
Um, that's for yourself personally.
Right.
Doesn't matter. I'll put mine on speaker view.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is there's a in the upper right hand corner of your box, there's a thing that says pin. No, that's not true. But
Mm-mm.
like if you wanted, if on mine, see the three dots?
Yeah.
If you click that, you can stop the video. You know what that is? It means just stop your video. Okay. In other words, they wouldn't see you talking, just be the blank screen. But it says pin video. In other words, if you pin, you could pin me, and then it would always stay on my screen.
Got it. Huh.
Oh, it says we're streaming live now. It says we're on YouTube now. How about that? Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Joanne, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Voices United, our virtual edition. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you this wonderful session by my friend and colleague Marty Lassman, continuing the legacy of Black Americans singing jazz music in your concert or your jazz choir. Marty and I have known each other for many years in a lot of different capacities, but he is a retired educator from the Red Clay School District in Delaware, where he taught for 48 years and created a wonderful jazz program, among other things. He has degrees from the University of Delaware and the University of Iowa, and he is currently the treasurer of Delaware ACDA. He is also on the faculty of the Music School of Delaware, where he has created 2 jazz choirs, an adult jazz choir and a middle school jazz choir. And I'm so excited to hear what he has to say. I know you will be too. So I will be quiet and get out of the way and let him do that.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching and listening to this. And thank you to Max Nolan and to Amy Moore and Eric Zabdar and Joanne, who are making this possible and hopefully making this smooth. So let me tell you where I'm coming from. I feel like this COVID-19 thing has really shaken everything up and made it so that we're rethinking lots and lots of things. And I suspect you, as well as I, have been on a lot of Zoom calls and all. And I was on one where there was some jazz educators, and they were talking. It was from the Jazz Education Network, and they were talking about diversity. And I wrote down several things that I want to share with you. On this Zoom, it was 3 Black musicians who were talking, and among the things they spoke about that I wrote down, I said, music education, especially at the competition level, is overwhelmingly white. Why is that? And when I look at the ACDA honors choirs and I look at our all-state choirs and things, that's exactly the way it is. Is ignoring students from underprivileged schools because they cannot sight read, is that a racist thing? Equity is the bare minimum of what we should be doing, they said. The reward is that things will get better. Is the term African American racist? Why do we label someone who was born in the USA as African? Do we label others as Irish Americans? In talking, saying, well, that's an Irish American person or that's an Italian American person? We just say they're Americans without distinction. Does requiring that inclusion in the concert choir in order to be in the jazz choir, is that a racist thing? That's these questions they're asking. Music theory is based on European-based music. Shouldn't we also be teaching things like modes, bebop scales, altered scales, and chords, since those are devices used in writing American music? And lastly, this is America. Jazz is American music. Why are we studying European-centric music exclusively when that does not relate to American children? So I started about those things. I started considering about those things. And I started realizing that when I was teaching, I did a terrible job of doing this. I was in that same role of I have to teach European-based music, and it has to sound like this, and it has to be perfect, and all that kind of thing. So here's some ideas I came up with. I would suggest we start incorporating music that was written and played by Black musicians, and we put that into our programs and teach it as something of value. We need to take time to talk about the history of that kind of music, of the composers, the musicians, the song form, AABA, scales. We have Dorian, Mixolydian, Lydian, bebop, whole tone, diminished, altered diminished scales, chords, major scales, chords, major chord, minor chord, augmented chords, diminished chords, dominant, major 7, +9, 11s, sharp 13s, 13s rather. Interpreting jazz rhythms, because our notation doesn't really accurately show how it should be performed. We have to just listen and figure out how things are supposed to be interpreted. Jazz phrasing and styles, syncopation. In jazz, quarter notes are separated and eighth notes are held full value. Colloquial pronunciation of words instead of overly pronouncing some consonants. Scat syllables because they imitate instruments. Latin influences because jazz is an amalgam of European, Black, and South American music. So what I'm going to do is I have 8 pieces that I want to present to you today. I want to let you know that I've received permission from every publisher to present these pieces to you, and I've rewritten each one so you can follow along with the vocal parts while listening to the score. Know that because I copied the vocal parts, there inevitably are going to be mistakes. It's not the way you would get the music. Those mistakes are mine, and they're not what would be on what you're going to purchase. So let me share my screen with you. That's a good share right there. Okay. And we're going to listen to the very first one is Now is the Time. It was written by Charlie Parker. This is an arrangement by Kirby Shaw. Interestingly, I can't find any Black jazz composers or arrangers whose music is readily available. So you're going to find, we all know that Kirby, for example, is white, but we know that Charlie Parker, who's also known as Bird, was a Black musician. If you take a look at some of the links down below, they'll have the list of the pieces and what voicings they're in, how much it costs, things like that. And Hal Leonard specifically said that they wanted me to, I hope this is going to work. Okay, they wanted me to list that in the beginning, so here we go. And I'm playing. And don't worry that you can't hear anything yet. I'm putting this here even though I know it's very difficult to read, but you can catch it.
I never thought it'd be so awfully close to me until I heard the message that felt to set me free. It made me want to linger, want to hang around for better understanding of a different kind of sound. Back in 42. Came to New York and it blew, my how it blew. Come reminisce with me and think about the bird. Remember everything you did and all the things you heard. That only just amaze you, get you down inside. To think of how we had to live and then the way you died. Life was so unkind, cause that would have been his time. But could really blow more than any cat you know. With lightning speed and with no apology, that's right, and it's called bebop. It's the most, and so don't let it ever stop. But could really know more than his daddy's Cali boy. Sophisticated lightning speed and with his music apology, that's right, and it's called bebop. Listen to the
Now I got to make sure I can make this thing work. Let's see. I'm going to stop the share. That's cool. All right. So there are things I like about that, and there are things I'm not really super fond of. It's a riff tune. Ba-doo, ba-doo, doo. It's the same thing over and over. Ba-doo, doo, doo. So it's a riff tune. Just learn that one line, and it's there. Kirby made up the words, and the words I think are kind of hokey. Bird could really blow more than any cat you know, that kind of stuff. He tries to teach a little bit about Bird in the lyrics. The problem is that sometimes some of the things in order to make the rhyme scheme work aren't exactly what happened with Bird. It's a 12-bar blues, and so you can get kids to improvise using a blues scale or even just the first 4 notes of a blues scale, but there are no written solos that are suggested there. Kirby wrote a really good shout course, that thing at the end where he's sort of making up parts, not where it's cascading contrapuntally, but after that. I thought that was really, really good. And I also think it's good if you listen to how the singers are phrasing, especially the sopranos, and putting in unwritten shakes and scoops and things like that. That's a really good thing for your kids to copy. Let's see if I can pull up the second piece here. And of course I can't. I'm going to kill this and go into this and go there, and now I should be able to find it. It'll be easier next one. Here we go. So the second piece we're going to listen to, here's our share, is It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing. And Roger Emerson did this arrangement. Here we almost go. Here's that part right. I was required to show you who wrote it and who did the arranging and the parts it's available for and the copyright and so on. This is a middle school choir that you're going to hear singing. They take the tempo really, really fast. I just copied off of YouTube. Their adrenaline was really flying there. So this is the professional recording with the show tracks. Nice scoop there.
Just give that rhythm everything you've got. Oh, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
All right, so I'll see if I can multitask here. Yeah, I can. Okay. The thing is that probably there are going to be some of you who are going to think, well, I don't have basses or I don't have baritones. Feel free to do these as unison pieces or do them as essay and change things around and leave parts out. And there's just all kinds of possibilities. So the first piece was written by Bird, and it's an opportunity to then to study Bird a little bit and to find out what his life was like and the kind of things that he did. And then this next one, of course, was Duke Ellington. And when he talks about don't mean to think if it ain't got that swing, swing is referencing swing dancing. which is, he wrote this specifically for people to dance to, and that's why it has that in it. This next one is called Swing Around Suite, and it's the only one that you really need to have at least soprano and alto, or soprano, soprano, alto. It's only written as a three-part treble. It's really, really good, and I don't, well, you'll see, I don't have the entire recording here. I really like this arrangement, though, because it's exactly like Ella's arrangement. And that's all they give you online. So it's 3 songs that Ella Fitzgerald made famous. But here's the SSA arrangement, but we're going to follow along with the arrangement that we're given for Swing Around Suite for this first movement. That's kind of cute. In the arrangement, we sing the parts that the orchestra plays.
Send a letter to my mommy. On the way I dropped it. Yes, on the way I dropped it.
Now, why are you looking at this?
A little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket. She was trucking on down the avenue. Not a single thing to do. When
sorry about this.
All around. When she spied it on the ground, she took it, my little yellow basket. And if she doesn't bring it back, I think that
I lost the screen because someone tried to call me. So I'm going to try to figure out how to stop this. And that should take a moment. Hang on. Let's see. That's not it. I have no idea where it is. Interesting.
That girlie don't return it, don't know what I'll do. Oh dear, I wonder where my basket can be.
There it is.
Oh gee, I wish that little girl I could see.
I'm going to bring you back to that again because now I found it. Hopefully. Actually, I'm not going to because I can't figure out how to do it. All right, let's see.
No, just a little yellow basket. A little yellow basket.
I'm sorry if you can't see this. I'm trying really hard. The second tune is called God Bless the Child. It's a lot shorter. And it starts out with the arranger thought it'd be really fun to do a children's chorus type arrangement. And so he starts it out. I'm sorry, it's the third movement does that. Not this one. Still looking if I can find this for you. Oh, here it is. Except it's not showing. I'm going to keep trying. Technology. And the third movement is How High the Moon. It ought to play. This is the one that he started out and did a children's arrangement, a children's choir arrangement, thinking that would be kind of fun, but it doesn't work for me. If I was doing this piece again, I would leave it out. My choir actually did this several years ago, this whole suite. Somewhere there's music, how faithful to So now what I did is I'm going to play a few Ella Fitzgerald singing How High the Moon.
Somewhere there's music, I'll face it too. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no love when love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's heaven, it's where you are. Somewhere there's music, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will, how still my heart, how high the moon. High the moon is the name of this song. High the moon, though the words may be wrong. We're singing it because you asked for it, so we're swinging it just for you. How high the moon, does it touch the stars? How high the moon, does it reach up to Mars? Though the words may be wrong to this song, we're asking how high, 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 oh boy, baba boo babe, oh baba bee, oh boo baba baba dee, do 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 ba, oh you do 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 ba, oh boo boo bee baby, oh dee 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 da, ba do 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 so the words may be wrong to this song. We have to like high, 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 high. What do you oh, no, some more like that, see. Oh, no, some more like that, see. Oh, be I do that, did it breathe. Billion, 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 papa, oh, billion, eh, what eh, oh, high, 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 is the moon. Is away, away back home in Idaho.
So you get the idea. And I'm sorry about tech. As was said to me earlier, tech is great, except when it isn't. But look, how many of your kids actually probably have heard Ella Fitzgerald sing? And she's just remarkable. And I think the idea is not to, seeing this thing here. The idea is not to worry so much about, oh, I'm doing music that was written by or performed by Black musicians, but rather as an opportunity to move forward with it. Here is, let's see, I got to go to this first, the screen share. This next one is Duke's Place, which is another riff tune. This was written by Duke Ellington. Let's see now. I come in here, and there it is, and share, and Duke's Place. I think, I'm going to look, pretty sure Roger did this arrangement. No, Kirby Shaw did this arrangement. Here we go. Duke's Place. This is really simple because this melody only has 2 notes in it. So again, you can do this with just soprano or soprano and alto. And you can buy the backing track if you're not feeling comfortable without a piano player. The alternate is also known as C-Jam Blues.
Take me down to Duke's Place. While this boxing town is Duke's Place. Love that piano sound in Duke's Place.
And again, the baritone part is not crucial to this. And you notice how static the parts are.
Fellas, swing them chicks in Duke's Place. Come on, get your kicks in Duke's Place. By the time you count to 4, you hear the band begin to roar. It will make your spirit soar. So baby, let's get out on the floor. They'll be pumping, we'll be jumping. Baby, let's dance. By the time you count to 4,
Feel free to sing along.
begin to roar. It will make your spirit soar. So baby, let's get out on the floor. They'll be pumping, we'll be jumping. Baby, let's dance. By the time you count to 4, you hear the band begin to roar. It will make your spirit soar. So baby, let's get out on the floor. They'll be pumping, we'll be jumping. Baby, let's dance. Baby, take me down to Duke's Place. While this boxing town is Duke's Place. Love that piano sound in Duke's Place. If you've never been to Duke's Place, take your tootsies down to Duke's Place. Life is in a spinning Duke's Place. The rhythm will be right. We'll dance and dance all through the night. So baby, let's head down to Duke's Place. Ba-do-do-ya-da-da.
So pretty easy. Again, I'm multitasking here. All right, get rid of this thing. Oh, that's not what I want to get rid of. Too bad. Let's see. Here we go. Get rid of that. Perfect. All right. Pretty easy. If you want to know how you can add improvisation to it, feel free to contact me. I can show you how you can do that. Every single one of these pieces I presented so far you can get at Musical Source or any other place where you're buying music. They're all Hal Leonard pieces. It's just they tend to be the ones that do these kind of things. This next piece I'm going to play for you is actually different. Instead of having to buy each copy at $2 or $2.15 or $2.50 or whatever it is per copy, you just buy one copy and you can make as many copies as you want. This was written. Arrangement was done by a guy named Matt Falker, who actually I'm taking piano lessons with right now. He jazz piano lessons. He lives on the West Coast. I have my jazz choir doing other pieces that he has arranged. This is Stevie Wonder's "Don't You Worry About a Thing." Let me pull it up for you. Bam. Share. Okay, here we go. This is just an extra because this is all he has on his website. He charges $75. You can also buy learning tracks and you can buy backing tracks. They're additional, unfortunately.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just thinking of things not worth having. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
that's as much as he had on his website. Let me get rid of this thing, and let's see. Oops. Close that. Cool. And I'll go back to stopping sharing. So, okay. So the thing I like about that is if a copy gets lost, you don't care because you just paid $75 for the whole thing, so it's not so bad. You can see he has an SSA version there and so on. Roger Emerson has an arrangement. Also, I don't think it's as good as this, but you're welcome to look at it. Roger's a great writer, as we all know. There's something else I wanted to mention to you, and I can't think what it was, but that's okay. The next one is kind of self-aggrandizement. So the thing I've been upset about is that it's really hard to find arrangements by Black composers and arrangers, like impossible. And I've spoken actually to people at Hal Leonard about that, and I've spoken to Kim Nazarian at New York Voices, and I've spoken to Matt about it, and I've spoken to several other people. And it's just really hard to find. And so I've decided to try to write some arrangements which of music written by Black composers, which can be performed by elementary school, middle school, high school. It can be done by a concert choir. By the way, I just remembered what I wanted to mention about the Stevie Wonder tune. Big fun. And Stevie has great compositional devices. It's, you know, you can compare him to some of the best Brahms, all that kind of stuff. You definitely can. And I think that's the kind of music we should be doing. And I just got a message saying that I have a question. What's my question? I don't see what you're saying, Eric, so send me the question. Okay, I got to think maybe that's good. All right, so let me share with you what I did. I wrote an arrangement of Satin Doll because I used to have one by Kirby, and it's out of print. So here's my arrangement of Satin Doll, and I put it. I published it so that it's legal, and it's on Sheet Music Plus. I think I charged $65, and for that $65, you can make as many copies as you need to make. And I'm happy to send you learning tracks. I'm happy to send accompaniment tracks and so on. I keep shooting back to other stuff. Many of these songs I'm playing for you can find on YouTube, and you can find backing tracks, so you wouldn't even have to buy any kind of tracks and things. So let's see what we got here. Here's my copy of my Satin Doll. I'm hoping you find it as much fun as I think it is.
Ooh, my satin doll. I could have told her she makes me
Over her shoulder, she digs me.
out catting that satin doll. Baby, shall we go out skipping?
Careful, amigo, you're flipping.
Speaks Latin, my satin doll.
She's nobody's fool, so she's playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't for no girl catching me.
Switcheroony, telephone numbers. Well, you know, doing my romas with Uno and adding my satin doll.
There's an open section for solos. I actually wrote some solos if people want to just copy them easy like this.
Speaks Latin, my satin doll, doll, she's my doll. Speaks Latin, my satin doll, satin doll.
She's nobody's fool, so she's playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't for no one catching me.
Switcheroony, Telephone number, say, baby, well, you know, doing my rumbas, but only with Uno, and that in my satin doll. Do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-dee, do-ba-do-ba-da, do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-dee, do-ba-do-ba-da, speaks Latin, my satin doll, 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 doll. Do-ya, 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 do-ya. Do-ya, 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 do-ya. Speaks Latin, my satin doll, 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 doll.
Toot 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 and toot ba doot and toot ba doot and toot ba da toot and toot hey. Da ba da tweet tweet dot and toot hey.
Switcheroony, da 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 doo dee da, da 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 doo dee da. Speaks Latin, my satin doll. You know that she wigs me, she can't help but dig me out catting that satin doll. Baby, shall we go? Let's go tipping. Careful of me, go. Don't be flipping. Speaks Latin, my satin doll, 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 doll.
She's nobody's fool, so she's playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't for no girl catching me.
Switcheroony, telephone number, say, baby, well, you know, doing my rumbas, but only with Uno, and that in, and that in, and that in, my satin doll.
And that was my arrangement. Let's see, it's repeating again, but I'll get rid of it. Hang on a second. Bam, done. Okay. So I'm going to unshare my screen now. So I have some questions here that Eric was kind enough to send me, so I'll answer them. For Matt's arrangement and all these other arrangements where you buy for 75 or 65, whatever it is, you can make as many copies as you want. So for example, Rosanna Eckert is one of my favorite arrangers, and she, I get stuff coming in here. Thank you for the awesome arrangement thing. I like it a lot. I'll do her chart over several years, and you can just keep making as many copies as you want, because she sends a PDF, and Matt would send a PDF as well, and mine would be PDF, so it's like really, really easy that way. I want to talk about my chart for a second. I'm going to come back and answer your questions. I purposely wrote it in a way that in the beginning of the song, everybody would sing the melody, because I think it's important that the kids get to know that song and get to hear it. I think it's a really kind of famous song. Johnny Mercer wrote the lyrics to it. It's a Duke Ellington tune, and Johnny Mercer wrote the lyrics, and he used to call his mother Satin Doll, and that's where the name of the song comes from. The very first lyrics are cigarette holder, and I had two different people say I couldn't possibly do that with my students if it has that line in it, so I changed it to over her shoulder or something. I can't remember what I put, but that's why I just got rid of those lines, and that's it. Let me answer some of these questions here. I've done a choral arrangement of Miles Davis, So What, which is cool, because actually I've been writing one too. Would Hal Leonard be the publisher to send that to? Here's the thing, is that Hal Leonard doesn't want to publish everything. They want to publish things that their writers have written. And Eric Zavdar has had things published by Hal Leonard, and he definitely knows about what that's about. But they have set up this thing through Sheet Music Plus, where you can write an arrangement and put it up there, and it can be your own original work, or it can be something that has already been written. And all you have to do is go through and look and make sure that they have the copyright permission to do that. Once you do that, you have to include all the information regarding who owns the copyright, all that kind of thing. You write the arrangement, you put it up there, you set your price, and then that's it. And then you get paid 1/10, I believe it is, of whatever the cost of it is. So I think most people are going to list like $295 or $250 or something per chart. I wanted to do it in a way, and they didn't tell me I couldn't do this. I made it $65 because I'm not looking to make any money on this. I just want to get it out there and make sure that it's legal to actually do this. So my take would be $6.50. However, you don't get paid until it's at least $30. So I'm expecting not to get paid on this at all. So that's what you do is if you have trouble, contact me at delawareacda@gmail.com. I don't think I have to spell any of those out. delawareacda@gmail.com. That's my email address that I use for ACDA. And I'd be happy to send you a link to show you where you can get that from. And you just include that on your music. What steps are necessary to get permission to publish arrangements of standard tunes? Where does one begin? And that's exactly what I said, is you have to, that's the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, if you just try to go through normal channels, it's going to be really, really difficult. I'm looking aside here to see if there's anything else. No, I did that one. Okay, I got it. So I think we're covered there. I'm going back to my chart again. The beginning, I want to make sure everybody sang. I wanted to have a scat section where kids could improvise. And I wrote up some easy improvisations for that. I wanted to have a shout section where it was a made-up melody where they could sing along. And you can do this chart unison. You could do it just as soprano and alto. You could do it soprano, alto, baritone. Soprano, alto, tenor, and maybe even have some of the altos doubling some of the tenor parts. And I made sure the bass part wasn't all that low, so it can be done by middle school kids and so on. So keep those cards and letters coming, kids. Do you have any recommendations, resources on tips on teaching scat singing in choirs? Yes, I definitely do, and it's way too much to cover here. But I'd be happy to share some things and maybe make some recordings. I know that the Delaware is going to probably have their State Music Day virtually this year, and I'll probably do a session on that. I have lots and lots of ideas. And Kathleen Shannon, who is my friend and also is in the Delaware ACDA and is a really, really great conductor. She and I have done the Delaware All-State Honors Vocal Jazz Honors Choir for 3 years now, and she would be a really good resource for that too. Let me see if I can pull up another song for you here. This is Mr. PC. Now my choir did this song, my jazz choir did this song several years ago. It was an arrangement done by Kerry Marsh, and it was pre-internet, I guess, because I had no idea what PC stood for. But Mr. PC was Paul Chambers. Paul Chambers was the bass player in John Coltrane's band. And this is a piece that John Coltrane wrote. It's called Mr. PC. You'll see in the beginning here, it's super fast. And I slowed it down so that you can see you don't have to take it as fast as he did it. You'll understand. That's how fast it went. This is another chart you order directly through Kerry Marsh, and he charges, I think, $75, and you can make as many copies as you want. He also will give you learning tracks and backing tracks and all that.
Wanna hear a man who plays a lot of rhythm, ABC. On a band getting things playing rhythm, ABC. Talk about rhythm, he's got the rhythm, ABC. Wanna hear the fiddle play the way it should be, ABC. Wanna hear it play the way it really should be, ABC. Talk about rhythm, he's got the rhythm, ABC. He's got rhythm, he's got music. People listen and always start to sway in. You dig, it's big.
So I'm going to try to talk over him, and hopefully you can hear me. And if not, Eric will let me know. This chart costs $60. It goes around a second time, which I left out. Easy, easy, easy shout chorus here. So obviously you can leave the drum solo out. It's not important.
One here man plays a lot of rhythm.
Maybe the piano player plays a solo here.
One really get the bigs playing with them.
Or maybe you get a kid to scat a little.
Talk about rhythm, he's got the rhythm. Dig BC. One here man play the way it should be. Dig BC. One here play the way it really should be. Dig BC. Talk about rhythm, he's got the rhythm. Dig BC. Talk about rhythm, he's got the rhythm. Dig BC. Talk about rhythm, he's got the rhythm. Dig BC.
It's a minor blues, which is kind of cool. Going back here to window. I had something really mess up. Wow. Okay, I'm back again, I think. Okay, let me go into the chat, and my chat is completely gone. Eric, am I still here or not? I know I could see that Margaret Ann had written a message, and I was trying to read it, but it's gone. So Eric is writing to me, so I know what's going on. I was frozen for a moment. Yeah, I have no idea, but I'm back. Okay. If anybody has any of those questions, feel free to send them back because they're gone. I don't know what they are anymore. And it was one that Margaret Ann had that I was gonna address. I have one more I want to play for you, and this is unfortunately has nothing to do with a black composer or musician or anything like that. Here we go again. This is totally messed up. Stopping sharing. Next time I'm just going to make a video and play it for you guys instead of just trying to get my way through here. Here's this. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. I might not be playing it for you because I just can't find my screen anymore. So, here's Margaret Ann's question. What steps are necessary to get permission to publish arrangements of standard tunes? Where does one begin? Well, I think my understanding, it's near impossible to get permission. You have to get permission from so many people. So the best way to do it is this Sheet Music Plus. And you can put your own arrangements up there and so on. The problem is that you're doing your own publicity of the charts. Maybe we in Voices United, our combined states might be able to do something. Amy, are you able to play the bungalow? Because that was the last chart the last one. I just can't find it to do it.
Certainly, I'll pull it up while you're talking about it.
Okay, this is a relatively easy chart that I highly recommend. I love Rosanna Eckert's stuff. She is so fantastic. Kerry Marsh, that last one we just did, Mr. PC, that one is a level 2 for him. rest of his stuff is like level 15. He has stuff by a lot of arrangements by black composers, but they're just or musicians, but they're just really, really hard. And it's like Kerry, and I love him and I've met him and he's awesome. But if it's like he tries to put music in there that's hard, intervals that are hard just for the sake of it being hard. So here's Rosanna Eckert's. You can anytime, Amy, if you can play it. This is a great chart for middle school. We did this with the vocal jazz honors card last year with the middle school kids. We're not hearing any sound though, Amy. There's the problem. Maybe I can pull it up that. No, I can't pull it up that way. Amy, are you there?
I'm working on the sound right now.
Yeah, I know. It's really annoying in Zoom to get that. I know. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this too. Maybe I can get it on mine. I have to go into my YouTube channel. That's, oh my goodness, this is crazy. My computer's doing funky things. YouTube. Whoever finds it first wins. YOU. YouTube. Let me minimize this. Thanks for being so patient, everyone, like you had a choice. There it is. So for all these charts, like for Kerry Marsh or for Rosanna Eckert, if you just go to my link, which I understand is in the YouTube thing, you can find ways to get to their sites, or else you just look up Kerry Marsh or Rosanna Eckert and find her chart, and then you can just ask, can I buy it like that? Rosanna, you go directly. Kerry, you go through a page where there's no negotiating. But for Rosanna, she's very understandable, and at times she has cut me a break on prices of songs. I'm not hearing anything, so I'm going to assume that we should just chat here for a couple of minutes. Anybody else have any other questions? Because either I can see them in the chat or Eric can send them on to me. I really appreciate everyone who's been here, and I hope this has all made sense. As you well know, this is all so difficult when you're not doing something face-to-face, which we all would prefer. But on the other hand, we all like not getting coronavirus, so that's a good thing. Let me see if there's something else I can talk to you guys about. I hope that you'll consider incorporating. Oops, no questions at the moment. Okay. I hope that you consider doing some of these things with Black musicians, because we really have done it. I mean, all of us, and myself included, done a terrible job about doing this, and we need to start realizing that this music really has value and has merit and should be an equal part of our program. And when we do a spiritual at the end of a program and pretend that we're somehow paying tribute, or we do a couple songs at Black History Month and they're Roger Emerson arrangements, and Roger's awesome, but they're not real authentic arrangements of these spirituals. We can instead really say to the kids in our classes who are Black, we can say, hey, look, your music is valuable by performing some of these really iconic pieces. And this is the basis for kids being able to go out and being in a wedding band or doing some solo work and things like that. It gives kids tons of confidence. And you and I both know that when we go to reading sessions, it's a lot of fun reading the charts, but when they get to something that's pop or rock or jazz or something, it's just different level, many fun things to do. I had a question here. Let's see. Can you elaborate on how directors shouldn't be intimidated to a tap piece for lesser experienced choirs? Absolutely. Just leave things out. Like in that chart that I wrote, if you do it all unison, I wrote another chart, which I have not yet published. I'm still, it's done, but I just haven't put it up there for Surrey with the fringe on top. Excuse me, that's my alarm telling me to shut up for a little bit. Surrey with the fringe on top, because a lot of the kids don't know the song, and they should know it. And so you can just do that piece unison. It'd be still lots and lots of fun. I was just in the New York Voices camp this past week, because I wanted to see what it was like, and it was fun and so on. And Kim Nazarian went through the chart that Darman Meter had written and said, I don't like the words that he's using here, the scat syllables. So she changed them. It's, just, if you want suggestions, contact me and I'd say, hey, why don't you try this? I mean, when I was doing middle school and we did musicals, if the vocal range for the boy was too low for him, I would rewrite it so that it fell in his range. I mean, we're all creative musicians, just do it. Some directors feel like they shouldn't bother with a piece if they think their kids can't get it perfect. Yeah, forget that. We need to get away from that. If you're doing something by Bach, or you're doing the Mozart Missa Brevis or something or other, or if you're doing the Vivaldi Gloria, yes, you want to have everything perfect. For these, not so much. I mean, we learn how to improvise. I mean, one of the things that all of us as teachers, music teachers, know how to do is improvise. So when you say, look, I'm going to go in today, we're going to nail that tenor part, it's going to be so good. And then you show up and you find out that there's a special assembly or something and they want all the boys to show up, and all of a sudden you don't have the kids you thought you were going to have. You don't just say, well, I guess we're not teaching today, we're not doing anything. You redo it the way it's going to work. And it's the same thing. Take a chart and you own it. Russ Robinson was famous for saying, you bought it, you do what you want with it. You want to transpose it to a different key, put it in a different key. If you want to make it faster, make it slower, whatever. Eric's contacting me again. Yay, Eric. Will there be a link for your sheet music playlist today? It should be in the YouTube. There should be a link there. If not, DelawareACDA@gmail.com. I can send you a link about every single song I've presented today, plus one more. Pick Yourself Up, which is another cool tune, which I did not present. And then also I'll send you my notes, which has all the things about things that I like and don't like about the pieces and so on. Joanne, you want to jump in here because it's 12:12 or 2:12 rather.
I think this was an outstanding session. I am actually taking notes. You'll be very proud of me. That shies away from doing vocal jazz because it's not my forte, but listening to you, I can't imagine that some of those things aren't very doable for my choir. So
if I can interrupt, Joanne, I'd say, yeah, stop being scared of this. When I taught for 48 years, and for 18 of them, I was a band director, and all of a sudden I became a choral director with no knowledge of what I was doing. You learn, and when you make mistakes, it's okay. It's fine. Make mistakes.
All right. Well, if there are no further questions, I hope everybody got as much out of this session as I did. Marty, thank you so much for doing this for us. I know, knowing you could go on for another 2 hours, but we have to...
I'm not sure that's a compliment, but yes.
No, it's because you're so very knowledgeable.
That's kind.
But I think this was a great session. So, Amy, I will defer to you to get us out of here. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you. And I know Marty can't see the comments in the YouTube feed as he's presenting, but Marty, there were some really wonderful comments.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone.
Check them out later. Those comments will be there live. You made some really good and profound statements that needed to be heard. So thanks.
I appreciate it. This has been fun.